Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burnettwork. I am RM. We are joined by Tom Jr. Jackson tonight. Tom Jr. Jackson, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's great to see you as always.
Working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop.
Uh,
No matter your industry,
that's me.
Granger's here
Hang
for
on.
you with professional grade.
There we go.
Okay. And guys, tonight we are here on the Burnettwork to do a live Tango Shalom watch party. So you guys already know Tango Shalom is a movie that Robert has worked on as an editor. I think he was also art director, probably many other roles. This incredible independent film has won a bunch of awards. Coming out in 2021, I had the pleasure of seeing the film premiere in New York at the Brooklyn Film Festival. Gee, it's been 2 years since that time. And I feel like a watch party on the Burnettwork is long overdue. Um, so that's why I decided to do this watch party. You've heard a lot about Tango Shalom, and this is going to be just a night where we enjoy Tango Shalom. Guys, you can find Tango Shalom live. It's actually available on Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, it's included. You can watch it there. Tom, you said you were watching it on another network as
It's
well.
also on Peacock as well. So if you
Okay,
don't have Prime, you can watch it on Peacock.
that is good to know. Absolutely. I do have a count up clock, which I'm going to show. I don't really like I share this one, but this one is kind of, let me see if I can just get it in here. It's huge. It's actually, I have it at the number 13 because it's where I was starting it at 13 seconds here. And it makes us so small, Tom. I really wish we could be bigger. If there's another way to do it, there are other choices, um, other layouts. But yeah, guys, we're going to start the Tango Shalom live watch party in a moment. Now, Tom, have you seen Tango Shalom before?
Yes, I saw it once when it was going through the what do you call that? The festival circuit, and there was an online film festival, and they shown it all day long. So I had a chance to watch it at any point during the day. And I
Huh.
forgot which one it was that I watched it on, but I really liked it. It's a very sweet movie.
It is a sweet film. And yeah, it really is very unique. Um, I met Claudio, who was one of the gentlemen who worked on the film, um, who mentioned that one of their goals of making the film was to promote peace. Use the news layout. Use the news layout, Mikey Lito. Let's see. Group layout, cropped layout, spotlight layout, news layout. This is the news layout, but Tom is not in the picture if I do that. Can I add? You see, that's why I didn't want to use the news layout because I can't see it. It removes Tom, and I don't want to do that. Mikey Lito. So that's the only reason why I'm not using the news layout is because I can't have Tom on at the same time. Is there a different one? How about this one? But we're not big enough. And we'll interrupt in the numbers, but I kind of do like that one. And that one totally removes us. But I actually like this one, but I feel like we're too small. But we're not any smaller than when we're uh in the countdown one. See, that one, you're not there. Mike Alito, thank you for the suggestion. This is the one where the biggest pictures, right, Tom?
Yeah, yeah. I remember I have a very so internet, so if it does cut out, I will get back on as soon as I can. So
Okay,
don't
don't
worry.
worry about that, Tom. Don't worry. This is not, we're going to be watching the film. You guys can watch along with us. I have it at 13 seconds, but of course, guys, just to give you a general idea of where we are while we're watching the movie. As I said, it came out in 2021. Robert did work on there. Yeah, this is true. There are custom layouts, and I should have figured that out already, Mikey Lito. There's like a custom, it says new layout. You can create a new layout, but I will figure this out, Mikey Lito, the next time I do this. So Tom and I are bigger and we look,
Yeah. And it took Rob 6 years to, the whole movie itself took 6 years to be edited and put together and stuff.
Yeah, Tom, you're right. It took a while to put this together. There were a lot of different formats in regards to getting the film processed during post production. And there were reshoots, a few reshoots that Robert was involved in. It's a really interesting process to see this film, which is essentially, it is independent, but certainly packed with a lot of very well-known stars, including Renee Taylor. Who else is
Joe Bologna, the late great Joe Bologna.
uh-huh. And who else do we have in Tango Shalom? Let me just, I don't want to say the wrong people.
Just a dancer.
Oh, yes. Smirnoff.
Yeah, Karina.
Karina Smirnoff. She's such a remarkable dancer. And she really was such a big star in this film. I loved her performance in this. Not just her acting, but her dancing was absolutely remarkable. Just looking at the let's say Rotten Tomatoes score before we get into and I'm just going to share it. Just give me 1 second. Looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score of this film, it's actually very good score. Here's the there it says it's a 71% critic score and 90% audience score. That's very, very good, Tom.
Yeah, and the film was blessed by the Pope. It was tweeted out and I think given an award by the UN, as Rob has pointed out many times. And this is just like a little film that has, I call it the little film that could, because it just gets all these I want to say acolytes. Yeah.
Yeah, it is an
accolades
and awards.
And awards and good reviews and all this stuff. And it's one of those things you don't expect, that from a small film like this to get such a buildup like that, and then to open up at these different film festivals. And I think it's still going to be opening up in Europe and some other places as well. So it's this little film that does so well, and you can't help but smile to think how lucky the people involved making this film must have been to find out that all this good stuff has come from it.
Yeah, you make a really good point, Tom, about the film and the impact that the film has had. Also, who's starring in the film is Lani Kazan, who's also a very well-known actor. Judy Beecher, who plays one of the roles in there, and she's also in a video game that I like called Heavy Rain. The film did premiere in 2021 at the Brooklyn Film Festival, where I got a chance to meet a lot of the cast and crew, which was absolutely wonderful, Tom. And it was fun because that was one of where the film premieres, and the night that the film premieres, you get to kind of see all the cast and crew. And then when they show that first run of the film, and everybody's name kind of shows up on the screen, everybody kind of cheers. They're like, yay, because it's, you finally get to see your film in its entirety. It was actually a point where many of the cast and crew hadn't seen the film completed. So this was the first time for them as well. Justin Reynolds says, I saw it a year ago, thought it was really good. Well, thank you, Justin Reynolds, for saying that, for the cast and crew who worked so hard on Tango Shalom. Really a great score, Tom, 90%. Wow. That's a decent Rotten Tomatoes score for any film. When you see the scores, that's very good. The other thing I was going to say is that one of the other very interesting parts about the film is that it does kind of focus on it's kind of based in New York, and it's based mainly on a Hasidic Jewish community, which is also very interesting. And I thought was a very important part of the movie because there's kind of like this challenge as the one of the main characters has to find a solution to a problem. He's trying to. It's not a spoiler. I mean, the film is a few years old now, but he is trying to keep his school open, and there's a challenge. He's trying to keep that school open. What can he do to do it? So this really is just such a fun film, and I felt like we had to do a watch party by now. You know, it's been a few years since the film came out. And I've been doing watch parties occasionally, but I've been wanting to do this watch party. The film came out in May of 2021, so we're still in the month of May. So I just wanted to kind of do it on its around or near the time that I remember seeing it, which I think was something like May 21st or May 20th of 2021.
Well,
So
the
guys,
great thing about this movie is that it keeps getting brought up in a lot of places. Like it's a word of mouth movie. Like when I remember when it came out in California, they only sent out flyers to certain people, and yet it did really well against some pretty big movies at the time that was showing at movie theaters and stuff. And I think even now, looking back on it, that we're just doing this watch party for it, it's a word of mouth movie, and it's still going to be, whoever watches it's going to go, I just watched this great movie, you need to watch it. And that's how it goes. It's not one of those movies that needs the big ads and whatnot. This is the definition of a word of mouth film.
absolutely, it is. It's got that grassroots, right, Tom? That
Yes.
grassroots movement. And I remember when the film first came out, and they talked about how important it was in the Jewish community, how people were talking about the movie in a grassroots movement. And I thought, how cool is that? You know, it's like you go to the synagogue, and everybody's talking about the film and how fantastic it is. I also saw this film with a very good friend who happens to be in the chat, Mikey Lito. Michael Lito and I went and saw the film in Manhattan I think it was either AMC or Regal. I think it was an AMC, right, Mikey Lito? We got to watch the film, and I think that the film resonates so well on the big screen. So I just enjoyed seeing it there, and I think that the angles and the shots, the cinematography of the film was done so nicely. But I just want to be clear: this is not a critique of the film because we work at the Burnettwork. We're just watching it because we enjoy the film and we love it. So this is not a critique of the film. We're just talking about a film that we enjoy and love. And I felt like this is kind of the 2-year anniversary of the film since it was officially premiered in New York. So many years ago. Can't believe it's been 2 years. Yes, Mikey Little says yes. It was an AMC, and that was, I think, the first time I met you, right, Mikey Lito? The first time that we met one another. So that's also a very good memory indeed. So without any further ado, this film, which has had a lot, we've talked a lot about it on the Burnettwork here and outside of the Burnettwork, but certainly a film that deserves a great deal of attention and recognition as far as I'm concerned, and a film that is really close to many of our hearts, a film that was made to promote peace in the world. Tango Shalom. So let's go ahead and let me get and guys, remember, it is on Peacock, as Tom said. It's also on Prime Video. It's included in, I think, both subscriptions. So go ahead and gear up the time. This is the timer that we have here. I'm at 13 seconds. Tom, are you at the mark?
Let's see. Am I? I am at. Oh, yes, 3 seconds. Just a moment. 4, 5.
Sure. Okay, I don't know if Tom's we lost Tom there for a second. We're just gonna wait a second for Tom to come back. He will be returning in a second. Um, and he might he might come and go throughout this time. And I apologize for that. But Tom will join us back in a minute. And we're going to wait for him to come back. Yes, absolutely. Paul from Long Beach. Absolutely. And Tom says, yes, he is at 13 seconds there. So, hey, Paul from Long Beach, hope you are well. Tom, I'm just waiting for you to log back in if you can. I'll give you a few moments to do that. Okay, here we go. And I think I see his picture popping up. There we go. All righty. Okay. So, all right. So without any further ado, let's press the play button in 3, 2, 1, play. I love this. Of course, the promised land there is California, right, Tom?
Yeah.
Or
I love
or
the
it,
fact that Moses is Rob.
yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Brooklyn. It's Crown Heights, Brooklyn. And I know these areas so well because as many of you know, I've grown up in New York, so I know a lot of these landmarks, if you will. That's right. That's right. The monkey says, "I've been excited for this movie for years since Robert was in post editing it during COVID." Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, Ethan's Tech World. Thanks for the kind words about the films. Yes, it is amazing, isn't it? And the girls who were in this film are all grown up and they were at the premiere, you know.
It would have been great for us all to have seen this in the theater and take video as Rob's name comes up and we all cheer and then we send it to Rob.
Mm-hmm. I know Iram Jabbar is asking a question, and we are going to do a stream, a watch party for that film as well, amongst many others. Many other films that are on the resume.
Yeah, I think that film right there specifically that's mentioned, it's very hard to find. I don't even think it is online from what Rob was saying.
Yes, that's true. I can remember that might be King's Highway or I can't remember the street, but oh, Ethan, thank you for sharing this. Saying Ethan's Tech World says he showed the movie to my mother and grandmother, and they loved it. Renee Taylor and the other ladies are fantastic in the movie and hilarious. Yes, they did such great performances, Ethan.
And I think one of the great things about this movie, it shows another side of life. You know,
Yes.
you
Yes,
you
it
don't
does.
really know that much about the Hasidic religion, and you do get that slice of life of it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. And so, of course, we're seeing the school that the main character teaches at. Thank you so much, Todd Fayer, for mentioning that. Yes, it is also on Peacock as well. And that's a really tough problem for this character, Tom, where he's faced with having to come up with this money during a different, kind of a difficult economic time.
And it's, I think that's what's beautiful about this movie is that it's a problem that everybody has. You know, everybody has that problem. Where am I going to get the money for this? Where am I going to get the money for that? It's an every person problem. You know.
Exactly. And Ethan's Tech World says, my whole family is Jewish, not super religious like the characters in the film, but my grandmother grew up in New York City. So I think it was extra special for her to see. Absolutely, Ethan. For those of us who did grow up in New York City, like I did, many of these sites are familiar to us. Part of this was filmed in LA, but there are certainly scenes that are on the streets of New York that certainly do bring back a lot of memories. Of course, that's Judy Beecher. And of course, that's Josh Leondo who plays Moisha. They have such great chemistry in these roles.
You know, funny thing is that Lainey Kazan, who's in this movie, I think it was right after this movie premiered on Twitter, just by not Twitter, it was YouTube, just by some random thing. The Ed Sullivan Show always releases a clip from old shows, and they happen to have had a musical sequence with a song that was sung by Lainey Kazan. I said, "Hey Rob, check this out," and then he sent it to Gabe, who was blown away by it, and then shown it to Lainey.
Wow. I love Renee Taylor doing this. And Mikey Lita says, Lanny Kazan was big in the old Dean Martin show. Absolutely, Mikey Lito. Absolutely. Aw. Hey, Darth Plato. Hey, Thomas Bertoldi. Yes, Thomas Bertoldi says, I love this film. And hello to you, Thomas Bertoldi. He's trying so hard to get a job so he can pay this bill for the school.
Ooh.
Yeah, that last that
Yeah.
last thing, he's just like, I can't. No one can check me doing that. It's hilarious. And guys, we are doing a live Tango Shalom watch party right here on the Burnettwork. We have the count up clock. We are at 20 minutes in. And this is one of the most important parts of the movie. I think they were extremely lucky to get such an accomplished dancer to star in this film. Of course, Marina Smirnoff, who's been dancing for over 20 years on Dancing with the Stars, is one of the main stars in the film.
She's a terrific dancer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Mikey Lito, thank you for that. Saying Karina danced on Dancing with the Stars for 2006 to 2016, appearing in every season except seasons 10 and 20. She won season 13 with actor J.R. Martinez. And yes, she is Ukrainian. Thank you so much, Mikey Lito, for that information.
I also think one of the great things about this movie is about finding yourself.
Yes. I agree. Thomas Bertoldi says, I love the moments in the film where he visits each different view besides his own. It was quite heartfelt. That is terrible, losing your dance partner at such a critical moment. And then all the other drama associated with it.
Yeah.
Now, this is very interesting, learning about Hashem and the fact that he's not allowed to have any physical contact, more or less, with this dancer. But he clearly is showing some, dancing ability. And, her character sees that he could possibly be a partner for her. It is really a very intriguing story and twist to this. Oh boy. What? This is why Renee Taylor is unmatchable in performance. It's just so wonderful. And here's Lanny Kazan.
Hello, Maria.
Hey, Maria, how are you today? And hello to Brando. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that. Um, you are welcome to your opinion. And Brando, thank you so much for letting us know. I hope you're sticking around for the watch party, though, Brando. We are at, I have to do it right. Is it this one? Oops. We are at 30 minutes, 51 seconds. So please join us. Thank you so much, Maria.
I'll be
You
sure
get
to
a
let
chance.
Tim know.
Yeah. Yeah. It actually says it at the bottom, Brando. If you look, it says Tango Shalom live watch party. So join us.
Thank you very much, Thomas. It's very nice of you to say.
Yes, thank you so much. Aw. And Maria says, I'm out and about with my husband, but should be coming home soon. Just wanted to show support. Thank you so much, Maria. Aw. And of course, she's so concerned about what's going on, right, Tom?
Yeah. And right there, it says it. He's in a spiritual crisis. Anybody who's trying to find themselves, trying to find that right way, and this is what it's a journey. This film, really,
It is.
it's a journey with dance.
So he's consulting the rabbi, Tom, to find out what to do and how to solve this problem. Hmm. Absolutely. That's my favorite comment. Hashem told you to dance in a tango contest? Hmm. True. And of course, this is what Tom Bertoldi is talking about. Um, this film has the same feeling I got from watching another film that I love that has the same moving journey of discovery, and that is Field of Dreams. Very nicely said, Tom Bertoldi. And hello, David Rose. It's just me and Tom Jr. Jackson tonight. David Rose. Anonymous, how are you? And thanks for responding, Tom Jr. Jackson. Oh, yes, Midnight Movies will be on later tonight. We'll be seeing you all then.
No, Miguel. You can find this on either Prime Video or Peacock to stream. If you're a Prime Video subscriber, I wanted to say suspect. Uh, you're welcome.
Yes. And of course, this is Joe Bologna who's playing the Catholic priest.
Yes, the late great Joe Bologna.
Mm-hmm. And Jamin D is here. Hi, Jamin D. Tom Bertoldi says, I even recommended it to some friends who watched it and quite loved it. Yes. Miguel wants to know, will they be playing it on this YouTube page? And I think you had already answered that, Tom.
Yeah.
It is.
This what we're doing now will be on the YouTube page, but to watch the actual movie, you need either Prime Video or Peacock.
Mm-hmm. And we are at, I'm just showing it quickly, we're at 41 minutes, 58 seconds, 42 minutes into the movie. Tom Bartoli says that dancing with her and the balloon was quite brilliant. Yes, very, very clever. So Moisha has visited a Catholic church. Now he's with the Muslim community here. I just love all of this so much. As you said, Thomas Bertoldi, the interaction with different communities is just wonderful. You know, I love that they decided to show different faiths in this film, Tom.
Yeah, I think one of the awards for this, or maybe it was the UN that said it brought together all the faiths, celebrated them all interfaith wise.
Yes, Mikey Lito. It is why the movie was so unexpectedly popular for certain. And Justin Channel says, sounding off, uh, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Well, greetings to you, Justin Channels. Yes. Yes, the face really captured why I loved it. Yes, Thomas. And they didn't have to include it, but they made a point of showing it. I absolutely love it, especially the parts like right now where they're walking down the street together, talking along the streets of New York. It's something that you do often see. And it's wonderful to see things like that. Definitely check it out, Justin Channels, if you have not seen the film. I assure you, you will love it. I just love the questions like, what if Allah told you to dance the tango? All these very interesting questions. And the question of being observant in your faith is also approached and discussed in a very interesting way. Yes, Justin, your messages are appearing. They are appearing. Justin, when you're streaming with me, it pops up automatically, but here it does not pop up automatically because we're doing a different type of live stream. So we do see you, and hello to you, Justin. Thomas Bertoli says, I personally believe that all different faiths have something to believe in, and how you believe it feels quite expressed in this film. Yes, it's so beautiful.
It is.
Seeing the different cultures here, Thomas. And I also like the music. I love the tango. And he admits, the main character, talking about being in this spiritual crisis and needing help to solve it. And I love that he goes to prayer and to other religious leaders to try and find an answer. Trying to add in Mikey Lito. See if he can connect here. Hello, Mikey Lito. How are you? Can you hear us? I do a different layout.
Hey, Mikey Lito.
Hi. The audio. Mikey Lito, can you hear us? Mikey Lito, can you hear us? I think he's having a little connectivity
Yeah.
situation here. I'll see if I can get him back in a few moments. Let's see if we can get him back now. Oh, okay. I think he's going to try and reconnect. I got a chance to see this actor. His name is Hamza Zaman, and he's amazing. He's an amazing actor. It was just great. He came to the premiere at the Brooklyn Film Festival, and it was such an extraordinary thing to see him there. Just a wonderful performance he gave in this film.
And to some, here is the real star of the movie.
Yes. Of course, by him giving him the balloon, it's such a great implication in the story. And of course, is the solution more or less that Moishi decides to go with. I just love this. And this is the Eureka moment in the film. I just love it. I just love it. And of course, this is Bern Cohen, who plays Rabbi Menahem. Such a great actor. On the other hand, and so it's at this point that Moishe has decided that he's going to do this contest. And of course, the big discovery in it
is him holding that balloon.
Mikey Lito, can you hear us? We can see you, but we can't hear you. Is it working now? Even his wife is very skeptical here when she says, "Are you sure?" He said, "Yes." Okay, I just love it. Okay. So Moiji is already practicing with this dancer, and it's gotten a lot of attention in the neighborhood. We can kind of see in the film where people are observing them dancing. That's right. That's right. It certainly is something interesting here, guys. I just love this actor so much.
Breathing sounds.
Hello, Mikey Lito, and welcome to welcome to the live watch party of Tango Shalom. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Much better, Mikey.
Let me just mute YouTube so that I don't get confused. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. Just enjoying this incredible film that you and I watched together, I guess 2 years ago, Mikey Lito.
Yes, it was. I love this film. It's a fantastic film.
It really is. And, we're about halfway through the film, but, we had that breakthrough moment where one of the spiritual leaders tells Moishi, he gives him the balloon. And, that's when he has this breakthrough of using the balloon as sort of this prop between himself and this incredibly talented dancer, Ms. Smirnoff. It is quite still kind of like a very suggestive dance, Mikey Lito. But what I think is really funny is when Moishe's wife says, "Are you sure? Are you sure the rabbi said it's okay for you to do this?"
I don't know. Moshe and his wife are kind of raunchy.
Yeah, they are. I hadn't thought about it that way. They certainly are a romantic couple that have continued the romance. And little things like this where she accidentally falls on him, this word gets around in this tight-knit community, Mikey Lito, where just a few blocks away, people can hear what goes on here. And they've got, it's a studio. So it is such a wonderful moment, Thomas. But it is interesting how quickly word of mouth spreads in this community. Honestly, Mikey Lito, this does feel like, I know that Robert said that maybe about half of the film was filmed in California, but it does feel like the whole thing was filmed on the streets of New York. What do you think?
It feels very Brooklyn to me. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, and it's all places that I recognize. I mean, he gets around the city a little faster than most people in New York, but aside from that, it seems very familiar.
It certainly does. And I love the scenes. It looked like it might be Brooklyn Parkway or Ocean Parkway. I can't remember which street it is.
Eastern Parkway.
It's Eastern Parkway. Thank you, Mikey Lito, for that clarification. Where I know at one time they used to have my mother said that there was bridle paths even on some of these streets, in the 50s. And since that time, as the Hasidic community has grown, one of the largest Hasidic communities in the world here in New York and in Brooklyn, it really was a very touching scene to show kind of the current state of this Hasidic community here in Brooklyn.
The path on Ocean Parkway between the Prospect Expressway and Coney Island at one time definitely was a bridle path, and then they turned it into a bicycle path because they had the stables and everything in Prospect Park. Okay. So
Okay, that explains a lot. My mother would talk about it, and I would say, "Well, where was it exactly?" She says that you could go ahead and ride there. So you are confirming that, Mikey
No,
Lito.
yes.
It
And
was there.
please say hi to Shh for me.
I will say hello to Mummy, who's can see me from where I'm sitting and is wondering what I'm doing. But I will say hi to her, and Mummy sends her love. And thank you for always both of you giving a shout out to Mummy. This scene here, Mikey Lito, is very typical indeed of like what you would see along the streets of New York. It's very interesting how the streets of New York are kind of a character in this movie.
Give me a quick time check because I'm at 50.
Yes, we are at let me see if I can do it. Let me see what happens when I share it this way, because I've never done this before with
Oh,
shares.
just block Tom and I out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you don't need to see me.
Is it sharing?
I'm at 101.51, something like
Okay,
that.
102.06.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay. So guys, we are about halfway through the film, enjoying Tango Shalom here. And we have Tom Jr. Jackson with us, as well as Mikey Lito.
I'm probably just a little ahead
That's okay.
because she's going like, everybody go to your room.
Aw. I mean, it's interesting because this dance studio has, you can see right through the windows and you can kind of see everything right from the street. And people they're looking in. It's not necessarily a private studio.
Oh, they're doing more than looking in. They're following them.
Yeah, sleeping on the couch is never a good sign. What do you think of the performances, Mikey Lito?
I think it's very smart that they used a lot of, what's the word that I want? Things that normally would be offensive. They're using it for comedic purposes, and I think it's fabulous. I think it's very funny. How you doing, Darth Plato?
This is maybe my favorite part when he says, "Does it exceed the recklessness of your Meshuggah enthusiasm?" It's so good. It's so good. I also think it's very interesting that he realizes, and everybody realizes that they can't kind of do this out in the open anymore. You know, like they have to come up with a plan and kind of keep it a little bit more secret and private.
Well, I mean, these two young rabbis are following him around all over Brooklyn.
Right. I mean, they're kind of, you know, it is kind of interesting. Of course, later on in the film, the rabbi does mention that you guys were looking for him to fail rather than supporting him. But it was very interesting where, you know, they've got a notepad and they want to make notes about every little whatever happens, you know. This is kind of become an obsession for them even. I think, you know, yes, Thomas Bartholdi says, yes, they are taking notes. It's become an obsession for them. And I think that they're more fascinated and intrigued rather than necessarily trying to get Moishi in trouble. What do you think?
No, I think they're trying to get him in trouble.
Now, these dance sequences are very good. Certainly not easy to do. And I was telling Robert how well he did with this because it's one thing filming these sequences, but when you have to put it on screen so that it makes sense as people's feet are moving to the beat and it has to swing in a certain way, that's not an easy feat, editing a dance musical style film.
You know what I'm noticing now? All these scenes of the sky that Robert keeps pointing out.
They're like investigators. And what did you both think about the representation of the other faiths in the film?
I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I'm paying attention to the movie. And
Not a bad thing. I like anything that's ecumenical. So I have never really been a part of any one set religion. I was baptized Catholic, but I've always been interested in other religions. I'm fascinated that I just found out that Lael was a Muslim. He better never meet me because he's going to be grilled incessantly. It's just all very fascinating because there's so much relationship between all the different religions. So many people think that they're so very different, and the reality is that a lot of it is the same.
Yes, that is very true. Recently, I did a review with Cameron Pasha about a movie called The Message, which was about pretty much how the Muslim religion started. And it was a beautiful film, which starred, I can't remember the actor's name, but certainly was a very touching and interesting story. And it was, the best part was that it was like right where Christianity and Judaism, these three religions kind of together. And one of the most interesting parts for me was the role that Ethiopia played in all of this. So the beliefs were very similar. It was almost as if it's the same group kind of split into three, if you will. But I just love that we get to even see these different religions in the film, because we don't usually get to see these three religions in one film. Although when you watch the news, you might see them in New York, especially, and different members of these religions represented in New York, especially in places like, governors and the state representation and stuff like that. So it was nice to kind of see them here. And I don't live in the city anymore. Mikey Leader, you and I are both from Long Island, so we don't see as often as we used to in our youth. But boy, it certainly does kind of bring back memories. Even some of the train rides, let's say, train rides and bus rides throughout New York City, you would see a lot of these, representation of these different religions. So it is kind of interesting to see it in this film, done so but a modern touch, because this takes place in modern day. So it is
I think that's one of the reasons, another one of the reasons why the movie is so popular. Things are so contentious in society today. And here's a group of people that they're trying to relate to one another. Something like happened in the old days, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. And here at this point in the film, we are at approximately 1 hour, 13 minutes in, where Moishi actually asks his wife, he says, something, I need your help to finish this. I can't do this without you. And I thought that was also very interesting, where he had to get her help and the family's help to make this work. It wasn't something he could do alone. And honestly, I think for a long time, he thought he was supposed to be doing this alone, not realizing that he needed help from others in the community as well.
Oh, definitely. He was trying to keep it hidden because he knew it was going to be a problem.
Yeah. I love when they keep saying she's just a young, pretty shitsa dancing partner, like that's all she is. Nothing more, nothing less.
Detectives at it again.
Mm-hmm. The look on his face, the look on Moisha's face is
right.
And hello, Martino Solomoni. Hope you are well, Martino. Thanks for stopping by during this Tango Shalom watch party. Hope you are well. Been watching some of the Playmates shorts you've been making, Martino. Those are yours, correct? They are wonderful, Martino. Such a pleasure to see you. And Martino, have you seen this film? Let us know what you think. I've been enjoying all the comments that we've been seeing tonight. I love it.
And he's not fooling anybody. Moshe's getting off on all of this.
Martino, you loved it. It is wonderful, isn't it, Martino? So much fun to watch this film, Tango Shalom. And nice to hear from you tonight, Martino. I love these dance sequences, kind of like it's like the fighting montage, like where they have to prepare for the fight.
Mhm.
But it's a dancing montage where they have to prepare. We can do this. So, Mikey Lito, after you saw this film, did it make you want to take tango lessons?
I've taken dancing lessons before, so no. I took country line dance lessons and all kinds of things when I was out in California.
Mm-hmm.
I would take tango lessons.
You would,
try it.
Tom?
Yeah. I would try it. Yeah. I mean, why not? If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I can say, look, I've tried it.
True. Very true.
I have no memory for dancing.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Mikey Lito?
I said I have no memory for dancing. I forget all the dance moves in like 2 days.
That's okay. You're just supposed to enjoy the moment. It's all right. It's almost like they're being chaperoned by the two ladies who are making the
Right?
She's such a smart ass. Oh, and the Islamic is here. Hi, the Islamic. Says, hey, y'all. Hi, Islamic.
Hey, Islamic.
So good to see you tonight. And thank you to everybody who stopped by tonight. We are enjoying this watch party of Tango Shalom, talking about all the interesting things in the movie and how incredible it is. Also want to let you know that we are at the 1 hour and 20 minute point in the film. So if you want to watch along, we are at 1 hour and 20 minutes. The film is available on Prime, Amazon Prime, and on Peacock, so you can watch it there. Now, I've watched Renee Taylor for years on The Nanny, Mikey Lee.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she was wonderful on that.
I think the one that really surprised me was Lainey Kazan.
Yes.
Because when I saw her on Dean Martin, it never really occurred to me that she was Jewish.
Oh, right. I mean, she's wonderful as well in this film. Certainly adds a lot of interest to the film. Both ladies really know how to kind of do these roles so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Lainey is from Brooklyn. So she's a New Yorker. And I believe Renee is as well.
Yes.
Both ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well known for their Brooklyn roots, so to speak, which is also kind of very interesting here in this. And
with some people of like my generation of who grew up in the 80s might know Lainey Kazan from Harry and the Hendersons.
Yes,
she was the nosy neighbor.
Yeah, and I have to correct myself. Renee was from the Bronx, so I don't want to get that wrong. I know how people are very, in their borough, right?
Yes, very true.
So I don't want to.
You started talking about Brooklyn. I was looking for my Brooklyn hat.
Well, I grew up in Queens, so I'm miles away from those areas, but still part of New York City. Although we feel like where I grew up in Queens is practically all the way on the other side of the city, but still.
That's what I was going to ask. Where in Queens?
Yeah, all the way near JFK Airport. So I'm
okay.
I was miles away. However, I was fortunate to be in the city every weekend, all throughout high school and pretty much through college. So spent a lot of hours in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. A lot of hours in Brooklyn too.
When we were younger, we traveled a lot more than we do now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of train rides.
Yep.
3 a.m. in the morning. This is also a very interesting part of the film because now he entered the contest under an alias, but now he's found out by the community that what's gone on.
Well, they have like little Tom Brokaw in the family there.
Mm-hmm. And that's her father's way of asking how far did this go. It's so funny. Mm. Well, maybe she doesn't hate him, but she still hopes he flunks out of yeshiva. Hello, Mark Spector's avatar. Yes, he is focused on it, and that's okay. Mark Spector's avatar. Hope you are well tonight.
You know, I'm watching this movie and I'm thinking about it, and it's more about finding yourself. It's more about faith. It's about coming together as a family, as a community. It's a lot of those things. It's a beautiful movie. It really is.
It's extremely rewatchable.
Yeah.
Raunchy sex time.
Ooh, I guess they're back in business. Oh no, she said he needs to rest that night. So we know what that means. And I think, like I said, we're not critiquing this film because we know the editor very well. But
That's where we were, right there.
It did come out beautifully, didn't it? I mean,
yeah, I think he did a very good job.
And the shots that they have in this movie of the city.
it is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And guys, we are at 127 approximately in this watch party. We're in the final stretch now of the competition. And maybe one of the best parts of this film for me. Everybody in his community is watching this. Every single person is watching.
Mm-hmm. Especially the two note takers.
Oh, sweet. Let's see if I can find that. Do I have my other? Oh. These incredibly talented dancers. They make it look so easy, don't they? Got to give some street cred to these professional dancers who are in the film. And it is a very passionate romantic dance. You think of love and romance and intrigue and kind of rendezvous, if you will. I just love it. And I love when she talks about what their real names are.
What's an anti-Semitite look like? That. That's funny.
So now they've just found out the best dancers in Argentina are there, and she was not expecting that.
It's a funny thing. When you don't expect to do well, that's usually when you do your best.
That's a good point.
Yeah. That makes you work harder.
You also let go of all your inhibitions and just let it go.
Like, I don't want to look. I don't want to look. It's a sin to look. He's praying. God, please help me through this. God, please help me through this. God, please help me. Mm-hmm.
And now you can watch something like this about a dance competition and know how hard it is from watching Dancing with the Stars and seeing all the training that they do leading up to the actual thing and what they go through each week.
Absolutely. And it looks like his community is praying for him, and
Right.
all the communities are praying for him. It is so lovely to see this communal prayer coming together, showing him support. Bill Barkley says, I just watched Fast 10 and it was good.
It was.
Oh my gosh. All right, the moment of truth, guys.
Now, the first time we saw this, I was sure he touched her.
Yeah.
But
We gave some artistic license in this film. The intention was to avoid touching, and that's what their intention was true. Even I guess if they had. But what a great dance, gentlemen. Was that not a fantastic dance?
I wonder how long it took them to rehearse that and come up with that routine. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she could do it in a week.
Yes. As my mother says, no matter who wins, always keep smiling. Always keep smiling. Because you never know what happens. Yay! Hilarious. It's hilarious.
Don't touch me. Don't touch.
That's right.
Now, this is my favorite scene coming up here.
Yeah, I have to say it keeps topping itself as the film continues on, doesn't it? And they're all got the balloons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, Thomas, it's great that they had the dancing and then the celebratory music after the win. It is very celebratory, a wedding to top it off. It's wonderful.
Oh, the note takers.
Mhm. That man is so charismatic. Religion. The banana. Mhm. Mhm. Goodness gracious. I'm guessing, Mikey Lito, you're especially fond of this part.
Yes.
Mhm.
It would not have had the same impact if they didn't bring the imam back. So I was very happy to see that.
I thought it was important as well. Although he couldn't be there, he made sure that he paid his respects, and that was his presence there,
Hmm.
which was wonderful. And of course, this is in memory of Joseph Bologna, who unfortunately passed away, I think, before the film was released. Um, my goodness, what a wonderful film. What a great celebration of faith, of family, of dance, with so many of the faiths, not all of them, but so many of the faiths celebrating their belief and the joy of their faith through dance. I also thought that this was quite a poignant film as well, using dance to find a solution to a problem. Uh, and of course, it really did, as far as I'm concerned, capture a lot of the heart of New York, with different cultures all kind of within walking distance of one another, in many cases. That particular church is right next to that mosque, which might be right next to that
Very
synagogue.
true.
Certainly that notion of kind of walking down the street and seeing other groups like that is the reality of New York City, especially. But what a cool vibe this film has, Mikey Lito and Tom Jr. Jackson. The vibe, I think, is really sets such a cool tone because Moishe is kind of cool and hip. And he has this positive feel to him, that I really think resonates throughout the film, even when it seems like there are so many obstacles against him. What do you think, Mikey Lito and Tom Jr. Jackson? I gotta plug in my computer. Just 1 second. What are your thoughts?
I'll let you go first, Mikey.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. That's one of the things that I love about the film. I've used the word several times. It's so ecumenical, seeing all the different communities trying to work together and not really any hostility anywhere, what have you. I love the film. I absolutely loved it.
I would have to agree. I love the dancing in it. I think the dancing was just spectacular. I love the fact that it was about having this idea or this mission of wanting to enter this contest just to raise money for the school, and then her thing was to help out her daughter. So matter what the obstacles that were coming up against them, they tried to make it better or be one step ahead of whatever the obstacles would be in their way. And I like that. And I like that the sincere message of the movie is don't give up your don't give up what you have the goal for, and it's a lot. Like I said before, it's about family, it's about faith, it's about finding yourself. It's a lot, and it's all beautifully done. It's about faiths coming together. It's about families learning to get to trust one another and to know one another, and for communities to come together. I don't think you'll see another movie like this ever. I mean, you probably will, but it probably won't be as special as this one. That's what I think.
Well, one thing, we live with this movie. So we heard about it for a long time and what have you, and it didn't disappoint.
No, it doesn't.
I have a question for you, Tom. Did Rob say there's a 4K print of this film?
I think that he said that he did render it in 4K, but they only released it in 2K or whatever, I think.
Yeah, he definitely said they only released it in 2K.
Yeah, so
there should be a 4K of this film.
Yeah, I think he wanted to do it in 4K, but they didn't have the money to do it that way. I can't remember how he put it. We'd have to ask him. It'd be funny if I just went, Rob, and he just stepped right in.
And for both of you, Michaelito, I know you already saw the film on the big screen. I wasn't quite sure if you had seen it in a movie theater, Tom, but for those of us who've seen it in a movie theater, I think it does have a very different feel, the theater experience. Although I did enjoy this version, watching it on a screen at home, the theater experience, Michaelito, you and I both agreed, was quite dynamic.
It was very good.
What do you think the differences might be for something like this in the theater? For me, I noticed that the shots, the way that they were placed, it seemed more prominent in the theater version than it did for the television version for me. How about for you?
This might seem backwards, but seeing it in a movie theater was more intimate.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in the theater you'd have more of that crowd around you, and with
well, I mean, the only reason I haven't had the only reason I haven't had interruptions tonight is because my brother went to Connecticut. So, usually in a movie theater, everybody quiets down and kind of concentrates on what's happening to them in front of the screen. And incidentally, I own my copy. I don't watch it on a streaming service.
What about you, Tom? What do you think?
I'm sorry?
You were saying about the differences of on the screen versus
I've only seen this on my laptop when it was on the all day online film festival. I haven't seen this in the theater. I would have loved to have seen this in the theater, though. I think seeing it in the theater would have been a unique experience, with a group of people. But seeing it at home is great too. I mean, I'm all for seeing something in the theater and then seeing it at home. It as long as I'm enjoying what I'm watching, doesn't matter if it's in the theater, if it's at home, if it's on I really don't watch movies that much on my laptop, but as long as I'm enjoying the experience, that's all that matters to me. And I think it should to anyone, really, because if you're enjoying something that you love, whether it be comedy, drama, action, horror, whatever, doesn't matter where you watch it, as long as you're enjoying it. And that's should be the ultimate goal. It's just enjoy what you love.
And I also want to say that the dancers in this film were extraordinary. These were really very, very talented dancers. We got to see some of the best tango out there. It was wonderful to see their interpretation of the tango with the balloon, but we also got to see some really incredible dancers as well in this film. And you were never kind of like left without seeing a fabulous performance, so to speak. So that was something that was very satisfying. They won, but they didn't necessarily win for the best performance. They won for the most innovative performance, and it was a lot of bank. Certainly was very, kind of a lot of fun to see something like that. And for there to be an alternative answer to their problem. But certainly Smirnoff shined in this film. I kind of feel like
Absolutely.
she was the breakout star in this. It was so much fun to watch her dance and to also see her inspire others to dance as well. Um, it was just really so much fun. And I think they brought a lot of excitement into the dance scene, which she normally does anyway. When she would be on something like Dancing with the Stars as well. So I really did enjoy that. I think, as I said, I had asked both of you whether or not it inspired you to want to take up dance, and anything like this would definitely inspire me to want to take up more dance lessons and kind of have fun with this. But certainly, I really think that this was just such an enjoyable film to watch, and it's a family-friendly film.
Absolutely.
Really, I
Yes.
think it is maybe more of a true representation of New York, or at least as far as I'm concerned, and how groups are coexist together in peace and harmony.
I was sitting here thinking, I was wondering if it transcended being a New York film,
Mhm.
because it very definitely is very much a New York film, but to a certain degree, I think because of its story content, it kind of transcended that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And certainly it's something to think about because, yeah, obviously you make a good point, Mike Leda. I think it transcends a lot of that. And I think it was very special that they chose New York as the center, but it could have been told in California or some other place as well, where the same groups are together in this way, and would have been equally good, I think. But I do love that it was in New York too. So I think it really does bring and capture a bit of the culture at this moment. And I think going on, it'll be shown in classrooms and in different places where they want to, from what I was told by, I think it was, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. It wasn't Gabe, but the other gentleman who I met at the premiere, he said that he wanted the film to promote peace. He wanted it to
Hmm.
be a film that brings people together. And I think that's exactly what this film has been doing and will continue to do. Um,
Well, I don't know if Paul is still in the chat, but Long Beach is a pretty cosmopolitan community, so many different nationalities and things. But I don't think you could have set this movie anywhere else but Brooklyn, to be specific, because of the cross section of uh, racial communities and ethnic communities and religious communities. It's a very unique place when it wants to be.
Absolutely, and it was Claudio Leonardo who had told me about the notion of the film and what it would represent and how he wanted it to bring people together. And it certainly did bring people together. There's no doubt about that. It accomplished that goal.
And it keeps showing up in the most unusual places.
Absolutely. Tom, you had mentioned it's going to be in another film festival across, I guess, in Europe
Right.
somewhere.
I think it's supposed to open, from what Rob said, Germany or something like that. I think at some point. Yeah, so it's still popping up in little places across Europe. Like it opened up at what was it, the Jerusalem Comedy Festival or something like that, or some festival, comedy festival, or Jewish festival out there in Israel or something like that. Like it opened at a lot of different um, film festivals, and like ones that you wouldn't expect a film to like just to open up. And I think it opened up in Russia at one point, or Ukraine or something like that, or it was about to before that whole thing went down over there. And um,
It'll probably turn up in Coruscant pretty soon.
yeah,
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's. I would not be surprised of that. And of course, it has won multiple awards, as we all know.
yeah,
Um, Certainly, the reception of the film, as I started off this stream, was that it has a 71% approval of critics and 90% of of theater goers on Rotten Tomatoes, which is amazing. And also, I think it's very interesting that I think one of you had already said about the first film in history to have its theatrical and video on demand releases actively promoted by UNESCO on social media. So
it was promoted by the United Nations on Twitter. It was given an award by the United Nations. It was blessed by the Pope.
Yes.
Yeah, I actually have the Pope's comment right in front of my face right here. He said, I was pleased to learn of the film Tango Shalom, which is intended to foster the values of fraternal solidarity and peace on a global level. It is my hope that this effort will serve the common good of the human family by furthering a spirit of mutual dialogue and respect for all persons. Upon all involved in the production of the film, I invoke abundant divine blessings.
That's amazing.
That is wonderful. And I just think it's so, touching to hear a comment like that from someone who is such an important religious leader, and certainly has a huge impact over so many people. And the film is still winning awards. I know it won a best soundtrack for a feature film award just as recently in 2023 at the Dubai Film Festival. Just to name one of its most recent awards, but it has won awards throughout the years that it has been released. And there was the I can't remember the name of the award. I think it's called Award This, the Film Threat Awards, where it won an
That just
award.
sounds like a made up award. I'm sorry. Award This.
Well, it's Chris Gore's awards that he gives out to independent films. And I was there the night that the award was awarded. So that was one of the first award ceremonies that I was fortunate enough to be in town when the award was given. So
That's right. I remember hearing about that I remember reading about that on Twitter. That it
Yes.
won the award. That's where I heard that from.
Yes. So from that point to now, it's continually managed to win awards.
Okay.
As
It
goes.
won 15 awards. Hold on here. I just had it. 15 awards and 13 nominations.
Mhm.
It's won awards nominated actually at the Anatolia International Film Festival in 2021. And that's where Rob was nominated for Best Editing. The Artisan Festival International World Peace Initiative. It was given Best World Peace and Tolerance Award for Narrative Feature Film.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Brooklyn Film Festival 2021.
Mhm.
the Golden Door International Film Festival of Jersey City. It won 3 awards there. The Jaipur Critics gave it an award as Best Film.
Mhm.
That's in 2021. The Long Island International Film Expo, it won there for Jury Award. Madrid, Montreal, New Delhi, Toronto. I mean, these are just where all the awards were won. I mean, it's amazing. This little film, this tiny little independent film, has gotten all this buzz, and it's all deserved. I don't think there's one bad thing you can say about this film. You could try, but it wouldn't stick. You know?
I think there's a joke they missed, but I wasn't on screen when it happened. So this is when he first went into the Catholic Church. I don't remember the exact joke, so I can't say anything. But if I run the scene back, I can do it.
Well, I just want to thank you both, Tom Jr. Jackson, for joining me, as well as Mikey Lito for joining me again. Mikey Lito, this is our second time watching the film together.
Well, I had to drop into the chat. That was my intent, was to like drop into the chat because we shared this film together or what have you. So I definitely wanted to see it again while you were saying, and I was very happy that you invited me. Sorry for all the technical problems.
It's okay.
And I want to thank you for inviting me as well. So I first read that as, oh, you're going to be around? And I thought you meant the moderator. And then I read it again. I'm like, oh, she wants me to watch it with her. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. And I went and I tweeted it out. I put it in a Facebook page. And for those of you watching tonight, don't forget, midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific, Midnight Musings.
And 4 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. You've got to start promoting this stuff internationally.
You don't make me do math.
It's not math. It's UTC +4 now and +5 in the wintertime. It's very easy.
Well, thank you both for joining me tonight, and everybody in the chat who's also here listening to Tango Shalom, this live watch party. As I said, it's 2 years since many of us have first seen it, and we'd been hearing about the film prior to that for many years as well. And the impact the film has been extraordinary. Just so glad to share the film with everybody here. And thank you to all the kind words everybody has had here tonight. Tom Jr. Jackson, where can people find you?
You could find me on Twitter at Tom Jr. Jackson. You could find me on my YouTube channel. All you have to do is just type in Tom Jr. Jackson. You'll see my channel show up. You can also find me on Instagram, where I do these really cool pictures with my Funko Pops under the username Imagination Connoisseur. And I also just wanted to let you all know that there's another watch party coming up this week of Pearl Harbor, and that is on Thursday the 25th at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, and that is when, Mikey?
9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
And you can find that, folks, on HBO Max to watch it along with the watch party.
And by the way, Tom, congratulations on driving John Campea behind a paywall.
Well, I do what I can.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Tom. We are all good people. And Mikey Lito, where can people find you?
You can find my incredibly bad quickie movie reviews every Thursday that a new movie premieres, usually around 6 p.m. U.S. East. And that's all I will say about that. I saw a comment in the chat about Fast 10. It was a very good movie. Stop spoiling it. You didn't spoil it, Bill. So I'm not talking about you, but anybody that's going around spoiling this movie, stop doing it. I do think it's going to be a little incredible to see it stretched out to 3 films, but hey. And any social media site, I'm at Mikey Lito Live.
Excellent, excellent, Mikey Lito. And guys, of course, you can always find me here on the Burnettwork, as well as on Positive Fandom and on the Rainier Creole channel and the 1/6 Kill Man Network, guys. I just want to thank everybody who showed up tonight to watch this incredible film. It was so much fun to do that. And of course, there are more watch parties coming up. But this, I think, film will always hold a special place in all our hearts. And guys, thank you, everybody, for watching. And guys, remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Take care, everybody.
Good night.